again. Thanks for joining me again. We're back here with week 7 of creating a Mat Pilates habit, where we take 5 exercises, do a couple of reps of each, and we do that every day of the week just to add into your other workouts, whether you're doing more Mat Pilates, or you're working on an apparatus, or you're doing workouts that have nothing to do with Pilates at all, to just be regularly practicing Pilates. The exercises that I have for you today, we're going to do 2 warm-up exercises and then 5 other exercises that are getting more intermediate and advanced. They're getting challenging. We're going to go into them. First, I'll go through them quickly, so if you're returning and wanting to go through the exercises, you don't have to listen to a whole spiel. And then I'll go into breaking down the exercises and giving you some modifications following going through those exercises. So today we're going to be doing teaser, hip twist, swimming, the leg pull, front and back, or some people call the leg pull down and up. I prefer to refer to it as down and up because it works better for my brain, but you can say front and back. So we're going to go through all of those exercises, beginning with a little warm-up to get our core going. So we're going to sit upright, nice and straight and tall, shoulders over top of the hips, knees bent with feet down to the floor, and we're going to hold back behind the knees, and we're just going to scoop and hollow round back. So we'll inhale to prepare, exhale, scoop out and hollow, C curve through the spine, reach back, and feel that big stretch, and lift up, really engaging through the core. So we're thinking about rounding, hollowing, scooping back, and then lifting up and stacking through the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. So you come straight with shoulders stacked over top of hips. Watch your feet and try to keep them parallel with your toes facing forward. Let's do 2 more right here. And 1. And then we'll advance that a little bit going into the roll up. We'll start seated and we'll roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, tuck the chin to chest, roll forward. We're going to maintain that C curve and reach down. And then we'll lift up, maintain the C curve, rolling back. Exhale. Exhale through that movement here. And exhale as you roll back. So we inhale as we lift up overhead. And exhale as we round, curve forward, inhale, exhale, rolling back. Let's take 1 more here. Getting that core turned on, and my goodness, we're going to need it because we're going into the teaser and hip twist. So we're going to take those legs together. We're going to do our teasers today, a full teaser, lifting both sides at the same time. Inhale to prepare, exhale, lift up. Flatten through the back, arms parallel to the legs. Inhale at the top, and exhale as you fold both sides down, trying to lower down upper body and lower body at the same time. I know what some of you may be thinking, that is not happening today. I'm going to give you options following all of our exercises, I promise. Once you master the teaser, you can do so with control. It'll be one of your favorites, I promise. Let's take 1 more. And we're going to hold right here and lower down the legs. Now we're going to flip the arms back, rolling back 1 at a time, fingertips facing behind, other arm coming back, and we're coming into the hip twist. So we'll pull the knees in, straighten them out. We're going to circle the legs off to the side, circle around, and back up. Other way. The hip twist is more challenging than it even looks. We'll take 1 more in each direction. Good. Lower down the legs. Next, we're going to flip over into a prone position on the stomach and go into swimming. So we're going to lift up legs and feet, and we're going to pedal with the opposite leg, opposite arm. Swing away. We're going to think breath, inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. One more set. Good, and lower that back down. We're going to move next into the leg pull down. So we'll go ahead and come up into a plank position. You can press up from the mat or get there however you need to. We're going to lift the left foot, lift up into the air. We're going to right heel, peel forward, shift the body weight over the hands, press back, lower the leg. Now lift again. Lift, shift. There are a couple of different variations to this exercise. Here's what we're doing today. Shift, back, and down. 2 more. Lift, shift, back, and down. 1 more. Shift, back, and down. Recenter, grab the other foot, lift, shift forward, back, and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, foot down, come down to the knees, and we're going to flip over and take that leg pull in the other direction. So rather than being in a plank, we'll be in a reverse plank. Lengthen out the legs, bring the hands back behind, fingertips facing forward, roll those shoulders down and back, lift up into that reverse plank position, and we're going to shift the weight and lift one leg, lower down. There are different variations here. We're going to alternate here today between the legs. Keep those hips high, stabilize, toes lifted forward, don't let the feet roll out. 1 more each side. Good, and bring that down. Woo! Just takes a couple of all of those. So those are all of our exercises. Next, we're going to go through and talk options. I'm going to catch my breath. Okay, still a little congested. Breathing's not my friend at the moment. Okay, let's talk teaser. So, if the teaser's really, really not doable to be able to lift up into it, you can practice by sitting down, fingertips on the floor, lifting the legs, and stretching them out long, and thinking about that V shape. Okay, so we don't want to be C-curved or hunched forward, but we want to keep that flat back, lift the legs, and we'll lean back a little bit, so we're making a V, lengthening the legs out, bending in, and tapping down, okay? So this is a great exercise in and of itself to build that strength, to be able to hold and secure that position, but it can be really helpful for the teaser. There are different variations of the teaser. We could be starting with tabletop and lifting up and lengthening out and returning. So there's teaser 1, teaser 2, teaser 3. This is the most challenging to lift both sides of the body at one time. It's my favorite, it's what I love. Here's a great way to learn teaser if you're like just about there but can't quite lift up. Take your legs up to 90 degrees. This is how I taught my 9-year-old daughter how to teaser, and my 6-year-old as well. She's doing it pretty well, a little inconsistently. She can maybe get 1 or 2 good right here. Lifting the arms up overhead, legs straight up to 90 degrees, and then you'll tuck the chin to chest, and as you roll forward, lift, and bring your spine up nice and tall right here. The legs actually help you to get there, and then as you roll back down, they're helping you again, and they're being supportive. So it's like the leverage of the legs to help you get here, and then rolling back down. I love to teach teaser that way, and I've taught people to do teaser by showing them in this way and being able to do it. And they're like, oh my gosh, I thought I'd never be able to do that. So try that little trick at home. Hip twist. Okay, really challenging to be seated up in this direction with the legs out and secure here. Here's another position that you can be in that's much more beginner friendly or even intermediate and advanced friendly. It's just a little bit more comfortable. We'll come down onto the forearms, taking those elbows underneath the shoulders, fingertips facing forward, lift the legs, and we'll twist off to the side, so we'll probably be able to get a bigger range of motion here. But coming onto the forearms is a nice trick that you can take a lot of Pilates exercises here and be working the abdominals like crazy from a different position. Make sure when you come here, whether you're up here or you're down here, we're not hunched forward, open up through the sternum, roll those shoulders down and back, and Make sure that you're not sticking out like this and straining through your neck. Okay, what else do we do? Swimmers. You can take slow swimmers. If it's too much to hold in this position and be going, you can lift opposite arm, opposite leg, and then lower down that top half of your body. So you're lifting an extension and lowering down each time. I love to just do swimmers here, not because it's a modification, but because it's working with a whole lot of intention. You're taking the opposite sides of the body and working here. This is a great exercise. When I'm doing swimmers, I generally will take a slow-paced swimmer like this and regular swimmers because it's great. Also, when you're doing a lot of swimmers and extending that way, coming into rest pose can be really beneficial. All right, and all I have to say about the leg pull exercises are, in order to execute these, you do need to be able to do a good stable plank and a good stable reverse plank. So if you're not able to physically do that yet, that's going to be step number 1. There are different variations that you can do. You definitely want to make sure that you're in good plank posture with the wrists directly underneath your shoulders, and then just step the legs back into this nice plank. So you could do just the leg lifting. You could do a single leg shifting forward and back. You could even take here, if you're pretty steady in the plank but not ready to lift a leg, you could put both feet down and shift forward and back. It's really going to bring that weight over top of the wrist. Great for upper body, great for core, total body integration right here. So if you're working on that plank, you could just be coming into a modified lower lever plank and be working holding here, or pressing out and lifting up into that plank. Or if you're trying to get to be able to hold the plank, you could go from lower lever, tapping the toes down, pushing up, dropping to the knees, lifting, drop, press up. Great way to build some strength and stamina there. So adding in a lot of tips in here. And then when we're coming into the pull up in the other direction, the leg pull in the other direction, and we're coming into a reverse plank, of course, we want to find a good reverse plank position. So how you might be working here is rolling those shoulders down and back, lifting up into that reverse plank, bending through the elbows, and then lowering down. Make sure those fingertips are facing forward as you're lifting up. If you've got shoulder or wrist issues, it might be more comfortable for you to turn the fingers facing out and even take it a little bit wider as you lift up and roll down. So if you're like, okay, with the flexibility and openness of my chest, can't even get here. If you're like really tight and can't lift to this position, turn those fingertips out, come wide and lift up, and you can do the exercise here. If you're just fine lifting into that reverse plank, but you can't stable and steady the hips while you lift up, where you want to practice there is coming up and just shifting the weight. So I'm shifting to my left foot, I'm shifting to my right foot, I'm shifting, and then slowly try to lift just a little. And eventually when you feel stable, you'll be able to stabilize and lift up. One thing that is pretty common for people is not keeping the fronts of the feet facing up, facing up. They want to like roll out. Avoid doing this. You want to keep them here. You want your knees and thighs and the fronts of your feet facing forward. So while you're teaching yourself and advancing, make sure that you are mindful of that posture. It's much easier to do it that way than to go back and reteach yourself out of bad habits, right? Okay, so those have been all the exercises for the week, those 5 exercises. You can take 5 repetitions of each. The ones where we switch sides, you could do 3 on each side. You could do just as many as you wanted, or if you're finding, I can do them, but I can't do more than 3 repetitions, or maybe more than 2 repetitions, perhaps just do 2 and make it a circuit and go back through all of them. So hopefully that gives you some different ways. You can work with these exercises in whatever ways you would like to this week. Hopefully that gives you some good ideas to be practicing these Mat Pilates exercises this week and challenging yourself. I hope you're feeling this really well. Oh, I forgot to mention, I already did talk about your wrist being underneath your shoulders in a plank, but let's talk about what specifically I'm saying don't do. This, okay? You don't want to be shifting your weight or doing any kind of movement without those hands solidly underneath the shoulders. I do have a video of how to do a proper plank, which would be a good one to watch If you are trying to perfect these exercises, it will be helpful for the leg pulls is understanding the plank to begin with. So I will, after this is done live streaming, I'll go ahead and attach a link that you can find in the upper right hand corner of this video for how to do a proper plank. Let me know if you've got any questions, recommendations, etc. for me. I'm so glad that you're here joining me for this Mat Pilates habit. Try to get it in. If you can't do it every day this week or 5 days this week, try to do as many days as possible, because this is all about developing a habit and making sure that you're practicing the various Mat Pilates exercises. Mat Pilates is something that can be oftentimes understood. I've seen many videos where people are talking about the benefits of Pilates and they're not doing any Pilates exercises and they're wearing sneakers while you're doing it. So with this whole program right here, we're developing a Mat Pilates habit, and I'm teaching you actual classical Mat Pilates exercises in doing so. I hope that you're loving it. Feel free to come back and join me here on my channel anytime. And if you want to join me on Patreon, I do have a very inexpensive Mat Pilates tier on there where you can find, I'm building up my how-to videos where I break down each exercise, tell you the benefits, the whys behind it, how to modify, various information, and then I teach you how to do the exercise from a beginner level to an advanced level on the mat. So if you want to check that out, you can as well. I will see you guys back here next Monday with 5 new exercises, and these are fun ones. They're some of my favorites for you to do this week. See you guys next time. Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day.